Well, apparently I'm destined to film late at night yet again because I've been filming late night every day these last couple days. It's like filming late with AJ and one day, and then the next night, and then film late with Will last night. I'm filming late tonight, so yeah. Or should I say tomorrow? I guess it depends on how you look at it. But good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on when you watch this video. Sir Owen Disney here, and it is Tuesday, and hope everyone enjoyed our three-part series about the best, the worst of the half year, and the most anticipated movies for the rest of the year. So if you have not watched those videos yet, go to the Pop playlist and check them out. They're a labor of love. AJ and I put a lot into them. And like I said, I apologize numerous times that I got a lot of things wrong, and I felt really, really stupid. But I will try my best not to get things wrong in the future. Yeah. Oh yeah, another thing too. I do want to say that we've been really hectic this week on Pop because of the 2-month anniversary yesterday, and filming like really late nights the last several nights. So the NXT and SmackDown recap, I'm gonna hope to get it up before Impact. I don't know exactly what day yet. Today I gotta work until 6, and then actually 5. I'm used to saying until 6. I normally stay till 6 on Tuesdays, but I'm only till 5. Then we're gonna go to Long John Silver's, and we're gonna watch The Lone Ranger and Despicable Me. And then Wednesday night, after I get off work at 6, yes, I actually do get off at 6 on Wednesday, we are going to B-Dubs like normal, which we may be joined by Ben, potentially, to film some things for the channel. And then, of course, Wednesday night, we're going to be doing AJ's movie review to be brought up on Friday for The Lone Ranger and Despicable Me. So, another thing. I just found out the Kings of Summer is coming to Athena Cinema. I said I'd try not to mess up. I'm sorry. Sometimes you get Grand and Cinema mixed up. The Athena Cinema is bringing Kings of Summer and Much Ado About Nothing. So Much Ado About Nothing will be coming very soon. It doesn't say exactly when. I do know for a fact that this Friday, July 5th, they will be bringing Kings of Summer. So that means that AJ and I will be going to Athens, most likely either this weekend or next week sometime. Excuse me. So, as I drink my Crystal Light, amazing. Alright. I wanted to give you a little housekeeping. A lot of things have been going on lately, and this is the first time I've been able to join you by myself. I mean, I have been with Ben. I have been with AJ. I've been with Will. I mean, I have been with every single one of the Popcasters on camera lately. And I have filmed a lot of crossover stuff with them. Well, this is my video by myself tonight, so this is the first time we have talked since Thursday night, actually, when I did TNA Impact. So it's been quite a while, but it's been really fun. We've had a lot of awesome content, and we did film a Will tutorial on Sunday night after the WWE Today Live podcast, which was always a blasty blast, like it always is. It was really cool talking to Matt and all the awesome people in the chat room that I really can't wait to see a reunion this year, and really look forward to those every year. Excuse me. Every month there is a WWE Today Live podcast, and we all get together and we talk Disney, and of course it's a live podcast, and I chat in the chat room with all the awesome people in there. Sometimes I get mentioned. I got name dropped a lot this week, actually, to be totally honest. But that was really cool. So it's good that people value my opinions. And still searching for those DVC points. I'm putting a hold on it right now because I've kind of got an idea. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to wait it out. I'm going to wait it out till August 4th. And on August 4th, I will know what I'm going to do. I think what I've decided I'm going to do, and I just got to make sure it works. Right now, I'm on a wait list for Bay Lake Tower for the day before reunion starts, which is December 4th. because I'm on that wait list, it's only for one night, so they said it might be easier than people that are trying to get like weeks at advance at a time. Given the fact the first week of December is a really busy time period for vacation clubs, so because DVC is so busy, it might not be easy to get more than one day. However, the way I have to use my points, I only can get one day. So, as of right now, like I said, I've said it a couple of times on here, I'm booked in Saratoga Springs, and I'm hoping to transfer that to Bay Lake Tower. But if I don't get my wait list, I'm not completely worried, because about 9 a.m. on August 4th, when I'm officially able to, I'm going to call member services, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to get into the Grand Floridian. That's right. If I get in the Grand Floridian, I'm going to cancel the Bay Lake Tower wait list, and I'm probably just going to... I'm trying to get a points transfer so I can just get them myself, and if I have any extra points left over, I'll just bank them for next year, because I'm not spending any points next year because I need all my points for 2015's big trip, obviously, since I'm doing both Disney World and Disneyland in the same week. So, because of that, I have to bank all my points for next year. But I'll probably rent points next year, to be totally honest, because I'll find someone that can do that. I mean, on the Diz boards, I can find people that can rent by $10, $11 a point. I can roll with that if that's the only thing I need them for. So I'm probably going to end up doing that, just so I can stay one night next year. So what I'm shooting at right now is, if somehow, some way, I can get into a studio at the Grand Floridian, number one, I'll make a dream come true that I've had ever since I was a kid. Ever since I saw the episode of Full House, where the Tanner family stayed at the Grand Floridian, I was really captivated by it. I saw the baby Gran that John Stamos played for Lori Loughlin, and when he was basically trying to say he was sorry for everything, and they kind of got into a quarrel, so he was saying he was sorry by performing in front of everybody in the foyer at the Grand Floridian. And I've walked down those iconic steps before, and it was awesome. And I've always wanted to stay at the Grand Floridian. See, my goal, one of my Disney resort goals, was to stay at the Grand Floridian, the Polynesian, and the Contemporary. Well, because of Vacation Club, I am given that opportunity. Now, last year for Reunion, the day before Reunion started, I stayed at the Polynesian. I actually paid about $350, a little bit under than that, about $340. That sounds about right, about $340 to stay one night at the Polynesian. And the bad thing is, it was the only night the entire Reunion trip, and that even includes when I came back from the Fantasy from Podcast Cruise 4.0 and had the one extra night at Pop. That whole time, it was the worst weather night. It was freezing cold, so I could not take advantage of the volcano pool like I wanted to. So, with the rumors saying that the Poly is potentially getting DVC in the next 10 years, I would say that I will return to the Polynesian again, somewhere down the road, once they become DVC. Now, because I got the Poly out of the way, I'm shifting my focus towards the Contemporary, and the Contemporary equals Bay Lake Tower. And I want to stay at Bay Lake Tower. Like I said, I'm on the wait list right now, so I'm kind of seeing where that's going to go. And then there is the Grand Floridian. That's another place I really want to stay. So I really want to hit the monorail resorts. I want to stay at all of them. I've stayed at all three of them. I thought that would be awesome. I still look forward to finally staying at Beach Club. Sorry, I'm really thirsty today. I apologize. But, I want to stay at Beach Club sometime down the road. I want to go to Stormalong Bay. That looks really awesome. I really want to go there, even just to swim in the pool. I probably need to start visiting some more moderates, Caribbean Beach and Port Orleans, French Quarter and Riverside. I need to hit those up sometime. And I probably should stay at the Swan or Dolphin, or both, somewhere down the road too. So, I mean, there's a lot of places I should be staying. And there's all those times that I'm also thinking about staying at the Hard Rock Hotel at Universal in December as well. So right now I'm pretty sure I'm going to, but we'll see what happens. I'll be preferred annual pass holder by then. So we'll see what happens with that. So there's that. And my dates are concrete. I'm starting to formulate my dates for 2014. Kind of depends on what my dad and stepmom want to do. Tentative dates right now are the 19th, the 29th, or 30th. They're going to join me on the 22nd through the 29th through the 30th. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a really interesting trip. And I'm also formulating the idea for a new park challenge. Now in September, I'm doing all 4 Disney parks, both water parks, Typhoon and Blizzard, as well as both Universal parks, Splitsville, and, what was it? Long day. So, Winter Summerland, miniature golf, as well as Hollywood Drive-In golf, and eating twice and having a snack, either a food or beverage at every single one of these parks, doing at least 3 attractions at each park. That's my big challenge for September. December, I'm throwing down the gauntlet. In December, I'm actually going to do something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I just got to figure out how I'm going to make it work. It's all 4 Disney parks. And if I have time, I'll go to Blizzard Beach as well, because I had really a fun time at Blizzard Beach last December. It wasn't very crowded. The water was awesome. The weather was phenomenal. It was like 74 degrees. It was crazily awesome. So I got that. Knocked those out. 4 Disney parks. Done. Both Universal parks. Done. What could I do to make it even worse? Not worse, but make it more challenging. That's right. SeaWorld. So all Orlando parks. And I'm not talking about hitting some piddly attractions at each park. Oh no. I'm looking at thrill rides. I'm looking at Space Mountain. I'm looking at Big Thunder Mountain. I'm looking at Expedition Everest. I'm looking at the Rock and Roller Coaster. Manta, Kraken, Rip Ride Rocket, The Mummy, and stuff like Transformers and Toy Story Mania. Just like headliner attractions. And with SeaWorld and every other park, I want to watch one show just to make okay with everything. I'll be an AP at all 3 parks, so I'm not really worried about it. It's going to work out. I just got to get with Len and try to figure out a touring plan to work to make this happen. So that's all that's going on lately. The Will tutorial took a lot out of me last night. I was really zonked by the time I was done. I mean, that was a long Will tutorial. And for those of you that watch it, we talked for about 2 hours and 40 minutes. I think that's about right. It was so bad it wouldn't even let me, not bad, I mean it was so much space on the iPhone 5 that I could not keep it on there without deleting things. So I had to use iTunes to transfer it over to the desktop, but luckily I have it now, so I'll post it sometime soon. I shifted in my chair a lot, I moved around, I mean I was just exhausted, so it was a long night. It was a fun video, it really was. Will and I had a good time talking about the subject, which I won't discuss and disclose what it is yet. You'll have to find that out when we do the Will tutorial later this week. It is the first of a 4-part series about one generalized topic, and I won't tell you what that topic is, you'll just have to wait to find out later this week. So, NXT and SmackDown, I will try to get them done in the next couple of days. I'm not exactly sure if I'll be able to. Like I said, tomorrow I'm really busy. Wednesday, Wednesday I'll probably will post the Will tutorial, actually. And Wednesday night, of course, we're doing AJ's movie reviews. After they're done, if it's not too late, I might be able to do NXT and SmackDown. If not, it might be Thursday. But I don't know how that's going to work, because obviously on Thursday night I'm doing TNA Impact. And Friday, I mean, I've got time. I got some time to kill. I don't know if when we're going to do Kings of Summer. I got to talk to AJ and find out what's going on with that. That's not really up to me. So we'll formulate that plan when we get there. So yeah, there's always that. So I also want to say that everyone has been very busy lately, but like I said, things are going to get better, and we're going to get a lot more awesome content from Will and Ben and Molly once she returns from Tampa here on Pop. So I appreciate everyone for sticking with us for this, and we're almost 15 minutes in, so it's probably time to discuss Monday Night Raw. So we're Raw last night, mixed bag. Big mixed bag. So we start the show off with Vicky Guerrero, and she is making an official announcement that the main event for tonight's Raw will be John Cena, who is the current WWE Champion, taking on the current World Heavyweight Champion, Alberto Del Rio, in a champion versus champion match. Now, if you have the WWE on Twitter, if you follow social networking, or if you've just been to some like dirt sheets, anything on the internet, you would have seen that this was pretty much broken earlier today. This would be the main event on Raw. So, that's going to be our main event. Del Rio versus Cena. Okay. Two kind of stale acts, to be totally honest. Del Rio is a little bit more freshened up now because he went heel, but Cena, same old you-know-what. Alright. So, Daniel Bryan comes out. I like to call him the MVP of the WWE. He says, you know what, last week the burning question was finally answered. Is Daniel Bryan the weak link? The fans of court chant, no! Now, can Daniel Bryan ride the momentum into Money in the Bank and win the contract? The fans are kind of split. Some of them are saying yes, some of them are saying no. And Bryan's like, yeah, that's not really the response I wanted. You got it right the first time. It's only one word, it's 3 letters, and it's yes! Obviously. He says he wants to be the WWE Champion, to follow in the footsteps of men like Bruno Sammartino, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Rock. Fans kind of booed Hogan and The Rock, actually. Kind of interesting. And they, of course, cheered Sammartino. Well, they were indifferent to Sammartino and they cheered Austin. So, and then he paused and he goes, Daniel Bryan. And the fans started chanting yes. They're still into the fact Daniel Bryan becoming the WWE Champion. And I'm a big proponent of this and I really want to see it happen. So, he's like, you know what? Why not? 2 years ago, I won Money in the Bank. And I successfully cashed in to win the World Heavyweight Championship. And it has been far too long. Far too long. History can repeat itself. I will be champion. And just as soon as that is said, here comes Sheamus. And he comes out and he says, Danny boy, don't forget, I beat you at WrestleMania in 18 seconds for that World Heavyweight Championship. That was the real end of the story. Look, I'm not saying I'm going to win that quickly, but it's been far too long since I've been champion. And Bryan gets off kind of a funny quip, says, hey, if I dial 1-800-FELLA, can you bro kick yourself? That kind of like turns the fans, some of the fans against Bryan, but most of the fans are still completely on his side. And he's like, that's pretty funny, though I thought trolls were supposed to be grumpy. Comes Randy Orton out with no music, and he says, it's been 2 years since he's been champion. He's not hungry anymore, he's starving. And he'll take what he needs, and that thing he needs is the WWE Championship. After he wins, he will cash in on an unsuspecting champion. So Daniel Bryan knows he tapped out Randy Orton last week. And Orton goes, you disrespect me one more time, I'll drop you where you stand. In 2 weeks, no one is safe. Pyro comes up, and here comes Kane. Of course, he has to join the party, and he says, you're not safe. I'll agree with that. No one in history has ever been more ruthless as me. Now, I can't wait for Money in the Bank. It's truly every man for himself. There's no friends. There's no alliances. It's all about one thing and one thing only, and that's grabbing that briefcase. No partners. No friends. Just victims. Here comes Christian. And of course, this is all the people that are involved in the WWE All-Star Money in the Bank match at Money in the Bank. Now let me remind you, I've got more ladder match experience than any of you. I said I wanted one more match, and that one more match is for the WWE Championship. Now I'm not the biggest, not the strongest, Not the scariest or even the hairiest in this match. But believe this when I say I'm the best. Just like that trigger word, you thought it would happen. Here comes CM Punk. And Punk goes, you know what? I promised myself I wouldn't get involved in this dog and pony show. I promised myself I wouldn't come out. But you know, you just had to mention the word best. And you know what? Christian, I respect every single thing you've ever done in this company. But you have to understand this. I'm the best in the world. I've won Money in the Bank twice, something no man has done. And come Money in the Bank this year, I'll win it for a third time. No one can touch me in this ring. Rob Van Dam, he's fearless. Sheamus, he's one tough SOB. And Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan just stops him and says, you know what? No, I'm sick of this. I'll tap you out. So Orton gets face to face with Kane. Ends up RKOing him. All 6 men stare each other down, and that ends the opening segment of Raw. Interesting way to start us off. As we build towards the All-Star Money in the Bank match at Money in the Bank. So, we get our first match of the evening. It's a rematch from a SmackDown match I have yet to do commentary for. Sorry about that. With The Shield in 6-man tag team action against Jimmy and Jey Uso and Christian. So, midway through the match, like we do, Seth Rollins comes in and he stomps away on Jey Uso, and he fights out of it, but somehow Ambrose gets tagged in. They hit a double suplex on Jey Uso, and he grabs the legs, and Ambrose does those 3 well-placed stomps right to the midsection. And he locks in kind of a version of the Regal stretch, but instead of kind of like the crossface, he does just like a chin lock. So he tags in Roman Reigns, with some headbutts, and a counter with a backdrop suplex for 2. So, tagging to Ambrose, and he hits a standing side kick. He gets hit with a standing side kick. And Jimmy gets drop kicked off the apron. And a spinning clothesline. Both men are down. Hot tagging to Christian. He comes in with a forearm off the ropes and a middle rope missile drop kick on Seth Rollins, but Rollins kicks out at 2. So he goes up top for the 10 punch, and about 4 punches in, he stops and hits a high back body drop out of the corner. And a big drop kick sends Roman Reigns off the ring apron. So Christian's trying to clear house. So Ambrose is standing on the apron watching. And Rollins hits that leaping back heel kick. And he tags in Ambrose. So Ambrose goes for the attack. He gets countered. Falling inverted DDT from Christian. Roman Reigns makes a save before the U.S. champion can be pinned. So he hits the Superman punch to knock Jey Uso off the apron. Overhead belly to belly on Jimmy Uso on the other side. So he ducks the punch, does Christian on Ambrose. And he tries to go for the kill switch. It gets countered. And basically Rollins hits a neck snap off the ropes. And that allows Ambrose to roll him up from behind, stack him up top, 1, 2, 3, and the Shield win again. So after this match was actually pretty good. I didn't mind it. They're building towards the match that I called, Dean Ambrose against Christian for the U.S. Championship. I don't remember if it's been announced for Money in the Bank yet or not. If not, it'll be announced on SmackDown on Friday, if I had to guess. But Christian and Ambrose will battle at Money in the Bank, as well as the Usos against Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, with both championships on the line. It's not going to be a 6-man, it's going to be 2 separate matches, but it's going to happen one way or another. I don't remember if it was announced tonight. It's been a long night. But I will say that if it hasn't been announced, it will be announced on SmackDown. So we get the former Hell No back in the dressing room, and basically Daniel Bryan says he's sorry. He was just trying to help Kane get back in the ring, and Kane's like, well, you're the reason I lost on SmackDown. And Bryan's like, you know, I want to make this right, Kane, so I went to Vicky. And Kane cuts him off and basically is like, yo, you don't need to be making matches for me. You don't need to be making decisions for me. You shouldn't have been out there in the first place. And he's like, wait a minute. Stop. I tried to do you a favor. And like I was trying to say before, I went to Vicky and I got you a rematch tonight against Randy Orton. And Kane's like, I like that idea. That's actually a really good idea. Thanks, little buddy. And he's like, oh yeah, there is one more catch to it. I'm the special guest referee. So, we get our next match of the evening. It is Dolph Ziggler taking on Jinder Mahal of the three-man band. Ziggler is not flanked with AJ or Biggie Langston. So, like I said, the babyface turn of Dolph Ziggler is almost officially complete at this point. Not slapping hands or anything like that. He's still acknowledging the crowd, but he's not a heel anymore either, really. So I have a feeling very soon you're going to see like hashtag face on his tights, and he'll probably be Face Ziggler on his Twitter handle, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So this was actually a really good showcase for Jinder Mahal of all things. Now, I don't know much about Mahal before he got to WWE. I know he was a very successful indie worker in Canada. And I believe that he also did like a, not a Tiger Jeet Singh, but like a Tiger Singh, Tiger Ali Singh type gimmick. That's pretty much what got him over in Canada. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I might be mixing it up, but this was actually a pretty good match for what it was. So Mahal hits a high knee lift, and Ziggler almost doesn't kick out, but he kicks out at 2.5. And Mahal hits a butterfly suplex, gets a 2 count out of it. He goes for a charge, moves out of the way. Ziggler hits a standing drop kick and gets a 2 count. So the whip's reversed, and this follow-through scoop slam, or I like to say like a fall-away scoop slam, like the scoop slam, but he like falls through with it. And he goes for the camel clutch. Ziggler slips out of it, hits the zigzag out of nowhere, and wins the match. So Heath Slater and Drew McIntyre like surround the ring, Shield style. So they get in the ring and they go to attack, and right before they're about to attack, Ziggler hightails it to the back, and they basically chase each other around the ringside area, and Heath Slater gets hit with a zigzag on the floor, and that's all she wrote, folks. Get our next match of the evening. It is our Kane-Randy Orton rematch from SmackDown. Another match I have yet to call, but like I said, I'm hopefully going to be able to do that next couple of days. Daniel Bryan is your special guest referee. And I'll quote what the Bronx Father, Tony Mirabella, said on the SNS Radio Network Facebook page. Something to the gist of, now I see what happens when you mix a goat and a zebra together. Daniel Bryan is a special referee. So, this match actually is kind of plotting, but it was alright for what it was. So, Randy Orton hits a Lou Thesz press, and he pounds away, and then he goes for his Garvin Stomp, and he gets stopped by Bryan, and he completes the Garvin Stomp. He hits the leaping knee drop and gets a 2 count because Bryan's not counting as fast as he could be, of course. So a choke thrust, a boot, and a snap vertical suplex on Randy Orton from Kane. The choke thrust drops Orton to the canvas, and he drives the elbow Bret Hart style like 4 times. He kicks Orton out of the ring, and Kane goes out, tosses Orton back in, so brings him back in the hard way, and Orton counters with a drop toe hold in the middle turnbuckle, and there's a clothesline from Orton, and he goes for the 10 punch, and he puts his hands on Bryan and shoves him out of the way. So Bryan grabs the shirt in sheer referee fashion. He calls for the bell because Orton put his hands on a WWE official. So needless to say, Kane wins this match via disqualification. So he raises Kane's hand and he's like, no, I'm not winning like this. I want you to restart the match. So after a little bit of deliberation back and forth between the former Hell No, Bryan restarts the match, and the first thing happens is Randy Orton hits a standing dropkick, knocks Kane all the way to the outside of the arena floor. So a choke thrust, a boot to the midsection, and Kane with those rapid-fire punches in the corner. There's a whip in, and he gets the boots up, does Randy Orton, when he's going for that clothesline in the corner. And Kane gets sent out of the ring. He gets knocked into the ring apron. So Orton is whipped hard into the ring steps. He reverses the whip and he whips him in the ring steps. So Kane goes out. He drops Orton chest first on the barricade, and he tosses Orton back in. So elbows, and then a kick to the side of the head while he was dangling off the apron. So he just drops the elbow right in the throat, and he does it again. And then he kicks him in the side of the head. So, basically, on top of this, Orton fights up to his feet, and he punches out of this like neck crank that he has locked on. Does Kane, so the clothesline in the corner, and he whips him in, and he hits the clothesline, hits a sidewalk slam out of the corner, and instead of going for a pinfall like he normally does, he goes up top for the flying clothesline, and Orton catches him with a Brian Pillman counter, which if you're new to pop, you would understand the Brian Pillman counter would be when a guy goes to the top rope and the other guy drop kicks him as he's flying off the top. That's a Brian Pillman counter. So, Vintage Orton, which is clothesline, duck the opponent's clothesline, catch him off the ropes with a snap Samoa Joe style power slam. That's what I call Vintage Orton. And he goes for that hanging DDT, or the snake bite DDT is what we call it here on Pop. It gets countered, and basically he goozles Orton going for the choke slams. Orton kicks the knee 3 times and nails the 3.0 backbreaker on Kane. And finally nails the snakebite DDT. Bryan gets shoved to the side, and Kane hits the big boot. Bryan quick counts him and wins the match for Kane. So Kane wins the match via the quick count from the referee, Daniel Bryan. So Kane's once again jaw-jacking with his former partner. And he's like, what are you doing? And Bryan's like, no, I'm just trying to help you out. I just counted the 3. You got your revenge. Be happy. So Kane's had enough, and he grabs Daniel Bryan in the goozle, and kind of a mixed reaction from the crowd. And he thinks about it, and he lets him go, and he leaves. But what he doesn't realize is when Bryan is completely distracted by Kane leaving to the back, Randy Orton is getting to his feet. And when Bryan turns around, just like clockwork, RKO on Daniel Bryan, to an extremely mixed reaction from the crowd. So we get CM Punk in the back with Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman. They're getting ready for their matchup against the Primetime Players later on in the evening. That, of course, was made last week when, after the CM Punk Darren Young match, Titus O'Neil came in. They had a double team attack. Curtis Axel was sent by Paul Heyman to make the save, and that's what made this match for tonight's Raw. So, as I finish my Crystal Light, CM Punk, basically, to make a long story short, says he trusts Paul Heyman, but he doesn't trust Curtis Axel. And Heyman goes, you know what? You were in that same position. I was in that same position obviously back in OVW when I took a chance on you. So why don't you trust my judgment? And my judgment is with Curtis Axel. So, there's always that. Our next match of the evening is going to be a singles match. The return of Fandango taking on Sheamus. So, this match actually wasn't bad. Fandango's returned to the ring since suffering a concussion. And, of course, this concussion cost him winning the Intercontinental Championship from Curtis Axel at a Payback, which everyone knew was going to happen. But now he is involved in the 7-man Money in the Bank all-heels match for the World Heavyweight Championship Money in the Bank contract. So, yeah, there's always that. Basically, this match is actually pretty good. So Sheamus hits an Irish Hammer to start it off. There's a whip in. Fandango gets the boot up. There's a clothesline and a vertical snap suplex for a 2 count. So he whips him in. A kick to the chest breaks up the whip. So basically it telegraphs him. 3 huge chops from Fandango and hits a nice back elbow. Sheamus kicks out at 2. So an overhand right from Fandango. Hip toss. It gets reversed and Sheamus flattens him with a clothesline. He hits the shoulder block, and then the high knee lift, and then Fandango goes to the floor to break up the momentum, or he obviously would have lost right there. So he gets sent into the barricade and tossed back in, so drags his back to the ring apron. Fandango grabs his neck, and again, neck snap using the top rope. This happens a lot tonight, actually. There's a lot of neck snaps in the matches. So there's a gut shot to the midsection, and Fandango with that back heel kick for 2, and the elbow to the back of the head, another overhand right. He's really taking it to Sheamus, and he locks on this, like, armbar chin lock combination. It's kind of like, I would say it's kind of like the crossface chicken wing, but instead of that, he kind of has like the Kata Hajime, the old Taz mission. That's pretty much what he was using. Like a version of the Taz mission is pretty much what Fandango was using to neutralize Sheamus at this point. So he gets it, and he gets a knee strike to the back of the head to add more insult to injury, basically putting a lot of pressure on Sheamus at this point. So Sheamus gets caught with another knee strike, and there's a straight elbow right to the back of the neck. He goes right back into that Kata Hajime. So Sheamus punches and kicks him out of the corner, and he yells the Irish Hammer, and he goes for the Texas Cloverleaf, and Sheamus gets kicked off by Fandango, and he goes to the ring apron. And of course, when you go to the ring apron against Sheamus, you're not going to come up on the winning end of the equation, because he gets nailed with the clubbing blows. And Sheamus he's about ready to finish Fandango off. Obviously, the next spot would be to bring him back in the ring, hit white noise, and then brogue kick and finish for the match. No, Fandango smartly just like pie faces him, knocking him to the side a bit. Him and the gorgeous Summer Rae, who I've yet to mention, sorry. They leave the ringside area, and Fandango lives again to fight another day. Now, the smart move, and this was done on the WWE app, is there was Josh Matthews had Fandango as an interview segment midway through the show, and basically one of the things they talked about was the fact that he ran away because he's got a World Heavyweight title Money in the Bank contract opportunity, and he doesn't want to worry about some one-off match against Sheamus. Why get injured and cost yourself the contract or a shot at even getting the contract if you don't have to? That's smart, sound thinking from Fandango. It really is. So, that was that segment. Their next match ended up being Ryback against The Miz. Interesting. So, basically, this was like a one-sided match, like, from the get-go. Ryback just took it to The Miz, and he walked on his throat at one point, and, like, rapidly dropping the knees into the shoulder blade of The Miz. So, he chokes him in the middle rope, and he chokes him under the bottom rope with his foot. So, it's like choke city in this match. So, he goes for some punches, does The Miz, and he ducks Ryback's clothesline. Not the meat hook, but just clothesline. And Miz drop kicks the knee, takes the knee out from under him, and he hits a Yakuza kick, and the Miz clothesline in the corner, and he goes up top for the crown, and he crowns Ryback. Well, actually, he goes to crown Ryback, and Ryback ducks out of the way. Miz lands on his feet, but this is really awesome. He ends up catching the foot, and he does that, like, he has the leg grapevine, like a high leg cradle, and then he just like drops down with it, kind of like an ace crusher, like a stunner with the knee. And basically he just works the knee and works the knee and works the knee. Ryback gets the ropes, and he kicks away on the knee, and he like Miz working the knee, and Ryback just looks at the ref and goes, "Stop the match." So they do that, and Ryback loses the match via ref stoppage. So, Chris Jericho, who's on commentary during this match, slides under the bottom rope, and unbeknownst to Ryback, when he turns around, bam, codebreaker, and it's over. Ryback left laying, so, yeah, Ryback looked like a punk in this match, straight up. Oh well, not a big deal. So we get the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, coming out, and he goes, "I'm the strongest man in the world. I earned it. I represented the United States in the Olympics in 1992, and then again in 1996. I earned respect from each and every one of my peers, every superstar I've ever worked with. Now, sometimes this business can cause jealousy. And there's politics, backstabbing, and accidental injuries. But you know what? They never gave me a legitimate shot at becoming WWE Champion. All the years I pretended to like the boys, to do the right thing for the business. This is a very smart promo, by the way. But then again, it makes sense because this is like appealing to the smart Mark Wrestling fan that loves Mark Henry. And that works for me. It really does, because he is being portrayed as a legitimate badass in this storyline, and I like it. Because it's about time that they treat him as a real challenger, kind of someone who really does have the kryptonite to take down Super Cena. So, and I hate using that terminology, but I mean, this is how it is. I mean, honestly, I hate this, but I have to call him that, because that's just what it is. He says, I deserve to be champion. All the time and the years I've put into this business, I've earned that right. You hang on every single word I say. Y'all a bunch of puppets. With Money in the Bank, nobody's going to keep me down this time. And I'm going to do the right thing for me. After I beat John Cena, no one will be able to deny me. He earned the title. John Cena, at Money in the Bank, I'm going to beat your ass. And that's the end of the promo. And that's an awesome promo from Mark Henry. And I'm telling you right now, I really like this program. And there were rumors today that I heard that they're thinking about doing a three-way at SummerSlam with John Cena, Mark Henry, and Ryback. Well, number one, you have to rebuild Ryback because he's done at this point. He's not even in Money in the Bank, so he can't win a title opportunity, so he just would get one for no reason. I think Mark Henry wins the WWE Championship at Money in the Bank. And I think that Cena gets it back at SummerSlam. And I think Daniel Bryan takes it from him with the Royal Rumble. He might win a Survivor Series. But, I mean, he could win a Survivor Series. Okay, that's it. That's what I'm thinking. They'll face off against each other for the rest of the year. I say Survivor Series. Bryan can't win, and then the December pay-per-view, whichever, I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head, it will be another match, and the third match will be at the Royal Rumble. There'll be some sort of stipulation on the line, and that's when Daniel Bryan wins the WWE Championship. But you really don't know if you want to wait that long to pull the trigger on Daniel Bryan as WWE Champion. Before this faux retirement angle that Mark Henry threw out with some of the best promo work of his career, it made me think that it may be time to give him a run with the championship. And I think that's exactly what they're going to do. And I don't have a problem with that, just as long as the final game over is Daniel Bryan winning the WWE Championship. And I'm pretty sure that's where we're going. And that's where we should go. We get our next match of the evening, the primetime players, No Days Off, Darren Young, and the big deal, Titus O'Neil, taking on the unlikely tandem of the Paul Heyman guys, CM Punk and the Intercontinental Champion Curtis Axel. So Titus suplexes Darren Young on top of Axel for a 2 count, like the front suplex is what he does. And he chokes Axel and locks on an abdominal stretch, and he's adding insult to injury while in the abdominal stretch using palm strikes, like overhand chops, onto the chest of Curtis Axel. So Axel elbows the kneecap of Titus O'Neil, and that breaks the hold. There's a scoop slam, and Titus charges in. Axel gets the boot up. He tags in Darren Young, and right out of nowhere, Axel tags in Punk, and Punk hits a high leg lariat and a spinning neck breaker on Darren Young, and he nails the charging knee strike in the corner and the short arm clothesline on on Young, and he goes up top for the Macho Man Randy Savage flying elbow drop. He nails it, and of course, when Young struggles up to get to his feet, he gets nailed with a go to sleep. Titus O'Neil tries to come in, and Punk catches him, tosses him over the top rope to the arena floor. Axel tags himself in after the go to sleep, and steals the pin. So, more dissension in the ranks between the Paul Heyman guys. Punk basically coming off saying, I'm doing this for myself. Stay out of my business. We're friends, but this is business. And he wonders why Curtis Axel stole the win. So, there's always that. Now, next match of the evening. Oh god, I hate Alicia Fox in the ring. She's facing off against Caitlyn. So, Caitlyn gets nailed with a short arm clothesline and a jackknife cover for a 2 count. So, Alicia Fox turns the tide and drop kicks Caitlyn and backs her into the corner and gets caught with a back elbow and nails a Northern Lights suplex for a 2 count, like kind of like an arm wringer into a Northern Lights suplex for a 2. So she goes for the front flip leg drop, or the somersault leg drop, or a standing tumbleweed, depending on how you want to call it. And Caitlyn plants her with the spear for 3. Instead of her music playing after the match is over, you hear AJ's music, and the gorgeous AJ Lee comes out with Big E Langston. And of course, AJ has to get some revenge for what happened on SmackDown that I've yet to review, where Caitlyn used the old adage turnabout as fair play when AJ pretended to be Caitlyn on Raw. Caitlyn pretended to be AJ on SmackDown. So that was what we did with that. So AJ did not want to be embarrassed like that, so she wanted to have the last laugh. So what she does, she comes out, she goes, Hi, Katie, kaboom. Don't get that at all. You know, you shouldn't throw stones in glass houses. You're just trash. You remember those unflattering modeling photos you did back when you were broke, young, and desperate? So, I have those right now. I'm going to show them one. So, it's a picture of Caitlyn's head superimposed on this very overweight woman in a red swimsuit. And AJ is doing this just to show the fact that after you lose your rematch at Money in the Bank, that's where you're going to end up again. They didn't really go anywhere with this AJ Caitlyn feud on Raw. I didn't like this at all. This is actually not good. And plus it also made me have to watch Alicia Fox in the ring. I'm never happy about that. Got our next match of the evening. Mustachio himself, Cody Rhodes, taking on the very European, now very real American, Antonio Cesaro. Of course, those two superstars also involved in the World Heavyweight Championship Money in the Bank ladder match at Money in the Bank. The ones all heels. So, basically, the Rhodes Scholars went out on the WWE app and said, we're going to address the situation why we wouldn't fight each other, even with that championship on the line, championship opportunity on the line. It's like, in 2 weeks' time, we will both be in the Money in the Bank, but we're not going to lower ourselves to your level. Silence. You're welcome. So, Zeb Coulter comes out, sans birth certificate. That's right, Ben. And with Antonio Cesaro, and they re-welcome Jack Swagger back. And dude looks good considering the fact that he just got busted for he just got found guilty of a DUI. But I guess the people charges have been dropped. Anyway, he returns to the ring, and Zeb says, choose your side wisely. You're either with us or against us. And if you're against us, you're the one that's going to be destroyed, basically. We, the people. So, this match actually was pretty good, considering the fact it was two heels and the crowd didn't really know who to cheer for. Cody got nailed with the deadlift gut wrench. And Cesaro goes for a clothesline. Cody ducks out of it and drops and does that back bump into the uppercut. So he rolls him up for 2 and Cesaro kicks out. He goes for a backdrop suplex. It gets countered and Cesaro ends up planting him with a double boot stomp. And he charges in and basically Cody double legs him and uses the ropes to try to steal the win, but Cesaro kicks out. So he nails a Swiss uppercut and Cody gets knocked to the floor. He rolls back in, actually gets tossed back in by Cesaro. and Cesaro gets caught with a neck snap, and the backslide by Cody is countered, and it's turned into the Gotch-style neutralizer, and Cesaro wins the match. So before I talk about the final bit of this show, I do want to mention that because of this champion versus champion match, we were subjected to little vignettes about the best superstars to hold the WWE Championship, or the WWF Championship, or the World Heavyweight Championship, or the NWA/WCW World Heavyweight Championship. The first segment was the original Nature Boy Buddy Rogers and Lou Thesz. They're representing the WWE and World Championships, respectively. The WWE Championship was then highlighted by the longest reigning WWE Champion in history, Bruno Sammartino, with former King and NWA World Heavyweight Champion Harley Race representing the world title. Bob Backlund was the next person that was highlighted in WWE for the WWE Championship, and he was put up against the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, if you will. Obviously, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion Dusty Rhodes. And then the one that I called from a mile away, the Immortal Hulk Hogan, was representing the WWE Championship, with the Nature Boy Ric Flair representing the NWA/World Heavyweight Championship. When we got to the WWE, we did a little bit more. This was interesting. It was Stone Cold Steve Austin representing the WWE's Championship, and Sting representing the NWA/World Heavyweight Championship. We finished off with Triple H. This should have been The Rock, or this could have been The Undertaker, or this could have been Shawn Michaels, or this could have been Bret the Hitman Hart. No, it was Triple H. And the final person representing the World Heavyweight Championship is the five-time WCW champion, Booker T. Which makes sense because Booker T was the last official World Heavyweight Champion before WWE bought WCW. So that made sense. Now, on Twitter, Bray Wyatt, who is awesome in every single way possible, basically said that a little cryptic comment that the Wyatt family were coming next week on Raw. It was made official tonight. The Wyatt family will debut on Raw from Baltimore, Maryland next week. And oh yeah, there were segments tonight involving the McMahons and Brad Maddox and Vicky Guerrero, and I'm gonna gloss over those because I don't care about these angles. I don't like them at all. I don't want to see the McMahons on television like this. I don't like this at all. I don't really care for this angle. I think it's absolutely stupid and a waste of my time. But it was all basically doing because to try to play off each other, and there's going to be a job evaluation in the middle of the ring on Raw next week for Vicky and Brad, and Vicky might get a promotion. She might actually get, I don't know, a title, right, Will? And maybe she might actually become the official general manager of Monday Night Raw. Or she might get fired. I guess we'll find out next week. This could go either way, honestly. This might lead up to Brad Maddox being the GM on Raw. So, who knows? I wouldn't have a problem with that because I like Brad Maddox, but that's another story altogether. So, like I said, the Wyatt family debut next week with a brand new promo. Oh my god, it's awesome. It's like, it's great. It's like, come out wherever you are. And it's like, we're coming. And then all of a sudden you see, the last thing you see, like the whole vignette is basically the rocking chair, just like rocking back and forth. And for those of you who haven't seen Bray Wyatt in FCW or NXT, number one, why aren't you watching these YouTube videos? I recommend Bray Wyatt's match against Chris Jericho from NXT about 4 weeks ago, I believe is what it was. And there was going to be a Bray Wyatt Sheamus match, but ended up being Sheamus against Luke Harper instead. That was on the NXT tapings. That was done about a week, 2 weeks ago, something around that time frame. So, Bray Wyatt's coming, and the last thing you see is like the rocking chair, and you're hearing this awesome promo from Bray Wyatt, and obviously Eric Rowan shows up at the very end of the promo wearing the sheep mask, and that's the end of the promo. So the Wyatt family are officially debuting on Raw next week, and oh my god, I can't wait. Main event time, champion versus champion, World Heavyweight Champion Alberto Del Rio taking on WWE Champion John Cena. Now, another thing, I didn't get to talk about the Fiesta Del Rio on SmackDown. I will, hopefully, where Dolph Ziggler came out and crashed the party, basically, and knocked Ricardo through a table off the top rope, basically launched him off the top rope through a table. And Del Rio ended up getting laid out with a zigzag, and after that was over, he picked up the guitar. He was in the El Kabong Del Rio. Del Rio powdered for the hills, and Ricardo got to his feet, and Del Rio watched as Ricardo got blasted with a nasty sideways guitar shot from Dolph Ziggler. And Dolph was the last man standing. But we get this match as our main event. So we go midway through the match. Del Rio ends up whipping Cena into the ring steps on the outside, tossing him back in. He goes up top for his I still don't get what this is. He just leaps off the top in Superman fashion, he raises his arms out, and then he crowns him with the double axe handle, which is the crown, which is a double axe handle off the top, middle, or bottom rope. Basically, it's a double axe handle off something high, usually the top rope, because it's an homage to Jimmy King, Oliver Platt's character in Ready to Rumble. So I call it the crown, still to this day. Cena gets locked in a chin lock, and a kick to the back of the kneecap, and a snap suplex for a 2 count. He goes back to the chin lock. Cena breaks it up and goes up top, does Del Rio. He dives off for that axe handle again, and John Cena nails the Brian Pillman counter. So he ducks the clothesline, shoulder tackle, and he goes for the second shoulder tackle. Del Rio ducks, and Cena hits the canvas. So basically, he slide drop kicks him to the floor, neck snaps him against the top rope. Okay, he ducks Del Rio's clothesline. Sorry, long night. Shoulder block, and he goes for the proto bomb. Del Rio flips up and lands on his feet and nails the backstabber, but Cena kicks out at 2. So he goes for the cross arm breaker, and Cena counters with a proto bomb. 5-knuckle shuffle, going for the attitude adjustment, gets countered, waistlock, German suplex from Del Rio. Cena kicks out at 2. So he goes to the GSK, which is the grounded sidekick, which is how he won the World Heavyweight Championship from Dolph Ziggler at Payback in the first place. Gets countered. Cena with a Magnum TA style belly-to-belly suplex gets a 2 count out of it. He goes up top. Del Rio catches him with a step-up enziguri kick, and Cena barely is able to kick out about 2 3/4. So he goes for the step-up enziguri again. It gets countered for the STF. Del Rio kicks it off and plants Cena with a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker for a 2 count. So he ties Cena up to the Tree of Woe, and he's going to run his shoulder into Cena, who's upside down. Cena flips up. Del Rio goes shoulder first into the ring post, and Cena goes off the top. A huge Brian Pillman-style flying body press, 2 3/4. Again, Del Rio somehow kicks out. He goes for the attitude adjustment, gets countered to the cross arm breaker. Cena rolls through to it, locking into the STF. But Mark Henry comes down, and that makes Cena break the hold. So Del Rio tries to steal the win with a roll-up with the tights. Cena kicks out, nails the GSK for 2.5. And here comes Dolph Ziggler. He goes to the top rope, which distracts Del Rio. Del Rio is distracted when he goes for the cross arm breaker. It gets countered. Attitude adjustment. 1, 2, 3, and the match is over. So after the match is over, Mark Henry gets in the ring. He grabs the WWE Championship. He fakes Cena out, drops the belt in front of him, and Cena goes to grab it, and Henry kind of lunges at him. And Mark Henry just kind of smirks, leaves the ring, and stares Cena down, and that's how we go home. So, interesting edition of Raw. Not bad. It was okay. What did we learn today, boys and girls? Well, Sir Owen Disney does not like to see the McMahons against Vicky and Brad Maddox. This needs to end. This needed to end yesterday. I really don't like this angle. I think it's stupid. I don't care about seeing the McMahons on television most of the time. They have a purpose. I get that. But I don't like the way they're using this. Basically just to try to get Vicky to do something stupid and cost her job. Daniel Bryan's still the MVP of the WWE, even though he didn't wrestle tonight. Basically, we had every single participant in the All-Star Money in the Bank WWE Championship contract match out, except obviously Rob Van Dam, of course, who is still trying to get those last puffs in before he passes the wellness policy. So, anyway, no offense to RVD. The Shield get a victory over Christian and the Usos to make up for the Usos and Christian winning on SmackDown. Dolph gets a great match out of Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal actually showed me a lot in this match. It was actually pretty good. I'm a big fan of three-man band, so I was really happy to see this match. So Kane and Randy Orton have a rematch from SmackDown. Kane steals the win via a big boot with Daniel Bryan as the referee. He basically just fast counts him. So that was fine. Fandango returns with the gorgeous Summer Rae, and he held his own against Sheamus, and he didn't get pinned, so that was a good thing. And I look for him to be one of the last men standing in Money in the Bank. Whether he wins or not, it's anyone's guess, but I'll give Money in the Bank predictions as we actually get a real card. So The Miz beats Ryback via ref stoppage. Very strange, given some guy who likes to beat people up so badly that he puts them in ambulances and drives them away. Now he's getting match stopped, and apparently he had a match against Justin Gabriel on SmackDown that I have not called yet. And he tweaked his knee in that match. Well, The Miz eyed that as a bullseye, of course, knowing his finisher is now the figure four, as much as I don't want it to be. He worked on that knee, and Ryback's like, stop the match, stop the match. Well, Chris Jericho on commentary is like, I'm not going to stop this, and he code breakers Ryback and has the last laugh. Mark Henry comes out. He is going to destroy John Cena at Money in the Bank. At least that's what he wants to do, and I really want to see this match. Primetime players lose to CM Punk and Curtis Axel. Of course, Axel steals the pin after Punk does all the work, nailing a go to sleep on Darren Young to end the match. But Axel steals the pin. The Wyatt family are coming for sure on Raw next week, and that's something to be happy about. Alberto Del Rio and John Cena had an excellent main event. I love the finish of the match, too. Caitlyn and AJ took, usually it's one step forward and two steps back. Caitlyn and AJ just took 2 steps back in this promo. Not very good at all. I didn't like it. And I don't like seeing Alicia Fox in the ring, so she's terrible. Cesaro and Jack Swagger are now a tandem under the guidance of Zeb Coulter, kind of like Zeb's Militia, I guess is what we'd call them. And they're both real Americans, so they faced off with Cody Rhodes. Tonight you had Damian Sandow, of course, at the ringside area. If we don't get Swagger against Sandow on SmackDown, and the Rhodes Scholars against Zeb's Militia on Raw next week, I'll be very shocked and surprised, to be totally honest. So I think we're going to get more matches from the matches involving the Money in the Bank participants. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. Obviously, we have not had a match with Damian Sandow yet. We have not had a match with the United States Champion Dean Ambrose yet. We obviously haven't had a singles match with CM Punk yet. A lot of things that we haven't had yet. No singles match with Christian yet. So I think all this stuff will be rectified on SmackDown and subsequent next week's Raw. So next week, of course, we're going to get Vicky getting a job evaluation, which means she's probably getting fired soon. Well, storyline fired. The only thing I would be happy about, bring back John Laurinaitis. Please. So that was Raw. And it was alright. It was okay for what it was. So hope everyone enjoyed me talking about Raw tonight. Giving my little housekeeping. Drinking my now empty Crystal Light bottle, which is an old Gatorade bottle, I guess. Because I never can find cups I like. So, once again, it is now July 2nd. And had a fun time this week shooting video with Will and AJ. Had a blast with AJ this week, actually. We had some really awesome videos, so check those out on the Pop playlist. Once the Will tutorial is posted, you can check that out on the Pop playlist or the Will playlist. And Ben's content still to come, and the later in the week, most likely. Hopefully, we'll shoot for that. So that's pretty much what we got from now. So later today, we're going to watch Despicable Me and the Lone Ranger, get my Long John Silver's on, and then tomorrow we're going to be talking about... Actually, tomorrow will probably end up being the Will tutorial, if I had to guess. And then Thursday will be TNA Impact, which I'm looking forward to that. More Bound for Glory series information. I want to talk about that sometime soon, too. And I still haven't talked about Halloween Horror Nights yet. There's a lot of things that have gone on lately. Cabin in the Woods got officially announced. There's some really strange cryptic comments from someone calling themselves PS. We don't know if it's Goth Wacky or not. We don't know what's going on. There's apparently some new video that's supposed to go up in the next few days. We're kind of waiting with bated breath for that to see if that's the announcement of Evil Dead or what we announce with that. If we're getting another IP house or if it's another original house. And apparently the La Llorona is going to be based upon an episode of the NBC crime drama Grimm. So that's the way to do it, make it float with NBC Universal and not have to use the same exact concept that is used at Universal Hollywood. But I'll talk about that in another video, so I'll probably discuss the same exact subject matter I just mentioned in another video. So, once again, thank you guys and girls out there for watching, and you guys and girls out there are the reason why I do this. So, if you like these videos, do comment, subscribe. I want to get to 100 by the end of this year. I want to get to 100 before I go home this year. So I leave for home in now officially 80 days. So I will be literally going around the world in about 80 days. I had to make that reference. And once that happens, I want 100 subscribers and 10,000 views at least. So we are gradually getting there. At this moment, I look up and I see that we are at 1303 left until we get to 10,000 views. So if you've watched these videos, thank you very much. I appreciate this. We all appreciate this. And if you want to become part of the Popcaster Revolution, shoot me an email, siroandisney@gmail.com. If you want to tweet me, you can. It's at siroandisney. And if you want to follow me on Facebook, it's Owen Disney. So thank you girls and guys out there for watching. We really appreciate everything you do, and we've had a great time in this last 2 months. And trust me, the wildest is yet to come. So, until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I gotta say about that.